and to start with insights, perspectives, and challenges of mechanical engineering in Latvia, I invite to join me on the stage, as he says, engineer by heritage, education, and belief.
Yes.
Welcome to the stage, and let's give a warm round of applause to the member of the board at PERUZA, Mr. Robert Dlohi.
Turja? Mani Turja?
Sure.
Okay. Hello to everyone. My name is Robert Dlohi. I'm a member of the board of the company PERUZA. PERUZA is Latvian-born, Latvian-originated, 100% Latvian shareholding company that is doing engineering and manufacturing of food, mainly food processing equipment. And we are delivering our equipment all around the world under our own brand name. We are not participating in any, let's say, supply chains. We are very proud of being ourselves, and we really are proud of being Latvian all around the world, bringing Latvia name to Philippines, to Peru, to South Africa, or Senegal, or very many countries, inhabitants of which haven't heard about Latvia never before. So we are like newcomers. We say, yes, there is a country like Latvia, and in this country exists engineering and metalworking. Oh, yes, really? Yeah? Yes, really, it is. And we are not existing as engineering companies here in Latvia. We also are joined into association of Latvian Association of Metalworking and Engineering Companies, in abbreviation MassPortal. And this association joins together more than 150, be surprised, more than 150 companies of Latvia involved in engineering and metalworking. And when I will go later to slides about what we are producing, you will be really surprised that such a small country with less than 2 million inhabitants has so big variety of products produced here. Companies with own products, companies really proud on their products, companies involved in supply chains, and both own products and supply chains. We are really active and really, let's say, engaged in all the worldwide economy. So, Association of Mechanical Engineering and Metalworking Industries, established in 1994 as informative and in consultative center for the specified industrial sector. And you see, we represent interests. There are joint projects. We develop together information sharing, international cooperation, marketing and export promotion, education and human resource development, and networking cooperation. Real, this is contribution of this association, keeping us all together. Please pay attention, we are not small sector. Yeah, you see 1.5 billion. It's annual turnover, roughly, it's pretty stable. And we hold 19% of industrial output of Latvia. Very good result. We are second largest sector in export volume of Latvia, and we achieved plus 16% increase in export volume 2017 to 2016. So I think champion growth. And as I said, with product profiles for member companies, 1/3 have proprietary products, own products developed by us and sold by us. 1/3 of those companies have proprietary products and do subcontracting, and 1/3 of companies is involved in subcontracting activities. Structure, very diverse structure. Yeah. Of course, there are companies who fabricate metal products. There are computer, electronic, and optical products also involved in our branch of industry. electrical equipment, machinery equipment, motor vehicles, trailers and semi-trailers, rubber and plastic products, and basic metals. Yeah? So pretty diverse industry. And as I said, we are not the poor guys looking for somebody to give us for free. No, we are all around the world with, let's say, the major share of our export to Denmark, 12% to Sweden, 11% to Germany, Russia 6%, Norway 6%, UK 5%, Belgium 5%, France 4%, Estonia 4%, USA 3%, and a lot of other companies are in those 24%. So we are really proud what we have achieved and what we are doing. Okay, there are some dynamics how it changed. You see pretty huge increase for Denmark during last 3 years. Yeah? Increase to Sweden, so Germany approximately level, the same. What is remarkable, a big drop for Russia. It's understandable. Some drop for Norway. Okay, what to do? Yeah? Not everyone loves us. Yeah? But of course, there's very fierce competition all around the world. UK growth, Belgium growth, France stable, Estonia stable, USA growth, so on, so on, so on. In fact, growth is almost in all the directions where we deliver our products. Employment, you see, in general, the share of employment is between branches of industry is more or less the same. Yes, previous years a lot of people were involved in base metal production. Yeah, yes, but some changes occurred. But in general, this is the main distribution of our employment. Yes, we were very in deep, how to say, shit, yeah, during financial crisis, yeah, because I believe all the world was affected by this severe financial situation, and so you see, we were not worse. Let's say me, yeah, I was not bad guy here, yeah, and now they was willing to trade with me. No, simply financial guys all around the world created this crazy situation where they traded who knows what, yeah, and as a result we were the victims of this situation, yeah. So you know, I think everyone involved in some economical activities felt this severe crisis in 2008, 2009, but we recovered. Then again, some pushback, but still we are again growing. And you know, like from Winston Churchill, it is success is to rise up one more time, then you can fall down. Yeah. So we are always we are hit down, we rise again. We hit down, we rise again. And this export share shows how active we are worldwide. So our production was wavy, but production output, but we still continue. And our distribution of location manufacturing centers is pretty diverse all across this very small and nice country. So you will be surprised. Production of metals. Production of metal products, you see, very interesting and very diverse products. Companies are listed here, yeah. They are automotive trailers, semi-trailers, details, and supplies done. We do other transport vehicles like small planes, like something for railway stuff, and also some ship building we are doing. We are doing like I'm really proud on this. This is my company doing, yeah, this, this kind of equipment. Thank you very much, yeah. And woodworking and for agriculture, yeah. We do also some 3D printing equipment. We do some scientific equipment. We do electrical equipment. We do some plastics, polymers, and composite materials used for different items. And some of our references of our clients who are very happy to be supplied by us. You see those big names. And those names speak by themselves. So, education, yes, there are 20 educational institutions. And very many students were being delivered. However, like previous panel said, I should admit, well, you can take some freshmen out from college, out from university, and then you start to develop, to grow, to make him an engineer, real engineer. Yeah, it takes time. Yeah, so and. It was very short about Association of Mechanical Engineering and Metalworking Industries of Latvia. You see this demo bus, yeah, techno bus, which helps to attract young people here. And about investment in Latvia in metalworking and engineering industries, I would say if you are coming with intention to grow, with intention to contribute, you are welcome. If you are coming just to redistribute, take some engineer out from my company, you are not welcome. Yeah, sorry to say, but I'm straightforward. Yeah, if you are ready to spread the word of Latvia around the world, you are welcome. If you just hide some of your costs here in Latvia, you're not welcome. Yeah. So we would like to play fair game. We would like to play, let's say, proud game of Latvian mechanical engineering and metalworking industry all around the world, like we have done from centuries. In fact, you know, first railway was in Russian Empire was built here in Latvia. The first spy camera is Latvia. The first truck in Russian Empire was built here in Latvia, and so very, very many things in prosperous Russian Empire of end of 19th century, beginning of 20th century things were born in Latvia. So we are proud. We have certain heritage. Yes, we are small, but we can make the world speak about us. So welcome for coming. Please come as a friends. Not just to take something from us, and we will welcome you in our association and in our industry. Thank you for your attention.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Great, great. I think, please take your seat. Yeah. I think a great ending for the pro play, and let's actually work for it. And next time, inviting the supplier development manager of Andritz OY, Mr. Juha Leinonen, to enlighten us on the demand of Andritz to their sub-suppliers. Please, warm round of applause.
Thank you for this LEA organization that you gave me this possibility to come over here and tell something about Andritz, and this is very important occasion to me that I can speak face to face to our becoming suppliers. I hope so. And I also hope that you are still interested in us after my lesson. And very great congratulations to Latvia independence in 100 years. In this slide, we can see our latest installation in Finland. We put together this Äänekoski Metsäfiber pulp mill together with Valmet. Valmet is also here available. And it was quite a huge project, about 1.3 billion euro, and we split about 50-60 principle this project with Valmet. So I have at first a couple of words from Andritz and then my short lesson to you. So Andritz is quite a big company. We are 4 main sectors: Andritz Hydro, pulp and paper, metals and separation. And this pulp and paper is the biggest and most beautiful, of course, because Finns are running it mainly. It's Andritz Oy from Finland is running this pulp and paper. Hydro is run by Graz people in Austria, same with metals and separation also. So the total turnover of the company is about 6.5 billion euro, and as you saw here, pulp and paper is nearly 2 billion, 1.5 hydro and 1.5 metals, and 600 million this separation. So Andritz has grown quite fast. It has been always profitable company, and it has grown through acquisitions. So that now, for example, this pulp and paper sector, we can make complete pulp mill from the first end at the final end completely, and here is our main product. And you can imagine that when making that kind of project, we have a lot of things to purchase. Because we are manufacturing only by ourselves some of these washing equipments in Savonlinna, Finland, and some pressure panels, for example, for boilers. But all the other steel structures, conveyors, everything we are purchasing on global markets. And I'm, by my profession, supply, my title is Supply Development Manager. But my work is to look good suppliers and develop supply chains. And I can tell you that I have been sitting in the aeroplane enough. Because I'm working globally, but it's very interesting work. For example, in South America, supply chains are completely different than they are in Europe or what they are then in Asia. We have in Asia factory about 2,000 or 3,000 people, and most of these Chinese products we are delivering on that area there, and then to South America. So these are the different parts of pulp mill. This is Äänekoski project. This also. Then we have just finished this project in Sweden, Timrå, renovation of Östrand pulp mill. And then go to this main subject. I can say that Estonia is part of Finland at the moment for us. And I promise that Latvia will be also soon. So it looks that we will have a competition with Swedish friends. Latvia is quite easy area to operate because most of the people can speak English. It's not very far. It's only about 5 hours from Helsinki or Tallinn. And it also cost level at the moment it's a little bit tricky because we have tried to find good suppliers from Latvia now about 2-3 years, but we have not been very successful because of this local price level at the moment. So you should do something for that. Okay, and how Latvian company who is interested us can find us then? So its best way is to take a straight contact to us, send your presentation, and also nowadays we require from our suppliers that you have to make registration to our SRM system. It's supplier resource management system, which is in this address in internet. So the steps to become our supplier is that you send the presentation, invite us to come to see you, and then you take care that you have enough capacity, good machinery. Then your surface treatment facility should be good enough, better that it is heated system. Then is this registration, and then after, when we have visited your place, we make the audit, and then after we can maybe start cooperation. So this slide shows you what we are asking or what we require in our audit process. So you should have sufficient workshop, surface treatment, then suitable production manufacturing methods for our own requirements, and also this certification is very important. We don't accept any company who has not ISO certifications. Then if you have own engineering department, it will be big advantage, and also own erection. And then these health and safety issues and matters should be in good order. And also we want that you sign NDA and our code of conduct documentation until we start cooperating. Then in our projects, as you know that we are putting together pulp mill, we don't accept delays in these processes. So it's very important that the company can keep the schedules what we agree together. And this is the example how we follow this our delivery, so that supplier have to report weekly the process how this subcontracting is going on. And this is the audit process. We are using this PSK standard questionnaire documentation. This is the evaluation of the audit. And then SRM registration. And we have also Andritz Blue Book, which is giving then more detailed instructions. In future, we want to operate so that now we have quite many suppliers all around Baltic area and in Europe, and we want to develop our suppliers so that they can start to make bigger scopes and take more responsibility for delivery chains. For example, if company can make engineering, manufacturing, purchase components, make the assembly of the equipment, and then all this required documentation, delivery, and even installation, it's big advantage for us. So these are the steps for full scope delivery. And then we have such a sub-supplier manual. We are training our suppliers through this documentation. And also we have packing instructions and all this we go through together with the subcontractors. And finally here, what we don't want to see is those delays. And then I don't have now here pictures of the equipment, what we want to purchase, but for example, okay. Yeah, here. So we need conveying systems. This is from Äänekoski, and here there were about 3 kilometers of different kind of belt conveyors and galleries. Then we need stacker reclaimer machines. We need many kind of equipment inside of the wood room, scrape conveyors, screw conveyors. Then in this one pulp mill, there are more than 120 tanks, for example. And these tank suppliers are not very many here in Latvia yet. Then we need heavy steel structures for frames of boiler buildings, and there are hundreds of different kind of things which might interest you and what we anyway are buying somewhere. So I hope that we can go ahead and you are interested in to see me also later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Juha. So no delays, that's what I heard many times. Very good. Let's hear another story from the company that is distributing their products pretty much all around the world. And welcome to the stage the key account manager of LEAX Baltix and LEAX Rezekne, Mr. Andris Liniņš. Applauses.
Thank you very much for having me here on the stage. It's plum pleasing pleasure to be here on the stage in my hometown, seeing some of my teachers from the university on place. A little bit about myself. I have a master's degree in engineering. I've been working in vehicle technical inspection for 4 years. Then I joined LEAX Group in 2011, worked there as a shift leader. Then continuing my job there as a project manager's assistant for LEAX Baltix and Rezekne, then project manager LEAX Baltix and Rezekne, then LEAX project manager, LEAX Group. And now, since last 3 years, I'm key account manager, LEAX Group, responsible for 2 clients. One is Meritor worldwide, and second is Baltix. So not only key account manager for LEAX Baltix and Rezekne, but each and every plant where we machine components for mentioned customers. LEAX way to success. So in my presentation, I will touch these points: history and growth, vision and mission of LEAX Group, global production network and organization, market segments and strategy, LEAX Group values. One example for the worldwide supply for the part number what we make in LEAX Baltix, and some future thoughts what LEAX thinks will be the future. Basic facts. 1982, 2 friends, Lennart and Axel, founded the company. So it's LEAX, Lennart and Axel, in a garage with 2 milling machines and 1 grinding machine. And from day one, they started with 0, and now the turnover is 160 million euros on group. We are contract manufacturer tier 1.5, 5 major industries where we supply goods, 11 factories on the globe, 1,200 employees, and we have customer-driven growth, and of course we have quality certificates what's needed for our business. LEAX Baltix and Rezekne. LEAX Baltix founded in 2001. In 2003, the first factory in Pinki. It's a suburb of Riga, close to airport. Second factory in Baltics, 2005. Quality certificates in place during the time. Third factory, at that time under the LEAX Baltix logo, in Rezekne, 2008. In 2011, LEAX Rezekne was founded as legal entity. 2013, induction hardening plus metal evaluation laboratory in LEAX Baltix. In 2014, heat treatment equipment in Rezekne, furnaces. And we started last year to build additional square meters in LEAX Rezekne. So this year in March, we're going to have additional 2,800 square meters. In this year, January, we have been here in Latvia 410 employees. Vision and mission. Vision is to become the world's most admired supplier of advanced machining and industrialization, with a mission to produce advanced components and subsystems for demanding customers because we love production. Here you can see LEAX global production network. As mentioned earlier, 5 factories in Sweden, 2 in Latvia, 1 Hungary, Germany, Brazil, and China. A little bit about our organization. We are a flat organization. All production facilities are split into the 3 different business areas. I will tell the names. So, business area propeller shafts. In those factories, it's LEAX Falun and LEAX Brazil. It's made the production for propeller shafts for Scania. LEAX is the single source supplier of propeller shafts for Scania. General industry, where both Latvian factories are placed into this business area, includes as well LEAX Hungary and LEAX Brinkmann in Detmold, Germany. And the third division, engine and transmission, is with the factories from Sweden plus factory from China. It doesn't mean that in those factories we just produce components for engine and transmission or just components for general industry. It's like to split the organization to put in the corners and have one management team leading that business area. Market segments of LEAX Group. Commercial vehicles, 59% of LEAX turnover. We have placed on screen the 4 major customers what we have. I'm responsible about Meritor worldwide. 24% general industry, 7, mining and construction, agriculture 6, and automotive 4. That's Volvo Cars and Gikoen drivelines. And on the side of the slide, you can see some components, what we are capable and what we are making nowadays in LEAX Baltix and LEAX Rezekne for different market segments. Our strategy to meet market demands are, of course, excellence in the production and quality. We know how to do it. Then what helps us is our global footprint. And as well, we can provide solutions for the end customer. Major milestone for LEAX way to success is LEAX Group values. They have not been changed since the very beginnings of LEAX. Each and every employee operator in LEAX world has a t-shirt while they're working with the sentence on the back of it: the day we see is getting better is the day we stop being good. Long-term thinking, survival, we don't give up if we encounter some setbacks. Another value is we listen to our customers, we meet them, they meet us. Respect and mutual trust. Internally in LEAX, we support each other, even if it could be celebration or some very bad days to some of our colleagues. We talk openly, we learn from each other, and give feedback to each other. Value for money. We invest where it pays off, and we don't waste our resources. We combine all the new equipment to create an optimal solution for production. Our product is our production facilities. Every day we measure and develop productivity, availability, and flexibility. And we never make chances. We never take chances. Here with this slide, I'd like to show one specific part number, what we deliver worldwide for 10 different addresses, and it's completely made in Latvia. Starts with imported material, but then all the machining and heat treatment operations are made in Latvia. So it's Japan, Thailand, India, France, Belgium, Russia, Sweden, Curitiba, Brazil, and North America. And some ideas for the future. For sure, e-mobility and sustainability are the words what everyone is speaking around. And with e-mobility, we have already one example where we have been part of it, and it's the two-speed gearbox for the electrical buses in Gothenburg. It's a cooperation with Volvo. Gear sets and the gearbox case have been made in LEAX Group. And it's part of Swedish powertrain. It's not only LEAX, it's as well Supplier and other companies in that another company. But you can do a research for Swedish powertrain, perhaps something that suits you. And then some other innovations with the selected partners, like modular camshafts, uniquely designed for every customer to meet best performance and sustainability. And as well with the Swedish Powertrain Tech Center, there are some ideas on new techniques how to making electrification smarter by substituting copper with steel aluminium in electrical engines. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andris. Make yourself comfortable. And do you remember at the very, very beginning of this event, the General Director of Investment and Development Agency, Mr. Andris, while opening the forum, he mentioned as one of the success stories the company called MassPortal. Do you remember it? Yes. For the closing presentation, for this discussion, I invite to explore this success story that Mr. Andris was talking about, of MassPortal, that the company that took 3D printing completely to the next level. And to present, I'm inviting the partner and CEO of MassPortal, Mr. Jānis Grīnhofs.
Thank you. So let me start with a joke from 15 years ahead. So some guys sitting in a 3D printed car and looking at their phones and saying, imagine, like just 15 years ago, this thing was milled out of a brick of metal. And this thing we are sitting in was made by sheet metal processing techniques. And the smartphone, like they even injection molded something. But this is not today. This is the future. And today we are still in a bit off from there. And sheet metal processing is probably still the most efficient thing for transportation. So still, we have seen the change in thinking happen numerous times in our generation. Although our company is just 5 years old, but now I'm a bit older, so I've seen a lot of change happening in the industries. And first of all, in the 1980s, I was heavily involved in studying, but the world was undergoing desktop publishing. Essentially, in 1985, the cost of preparing a printed publication dropped about 10 times. And no, the big publishing houses didn't go away. They just had to accept a new competition from the very, very bottom up, because like the cost of entry to doing a print publication was just that much lower the next year because of the invention of the laser printer and the personal computer. And fast forward 10 years later, everybody started having email. And the internet is impacting basically everything we do today. And I'm sure you agree. And now 10 years still passed till we got to social media. If you think that in 2003 Facebook didn't exist, your kids didn't spend time in Facebook. Just like 20 years ago, it didn't exist, even 15. And so 2010, 2015, a thing called desktop 3D printing appeared. And it looks like this, and still does to this day, to an extent. So this is certainly not manufacturing grade technology, but still it has the early signs of being able to impact the supply chains and manufacturing. And by 2025, 10 years from now, or less than 10 years from now, is it going to look like this, the same machines? Of course, no. It will evolve, things will have evolved, and it will be much more advanced. So now, when we started out doing MassPortal 5 years ago, we were the ones who wanted to use this technology to prototype other hardware devices, essentially have some device that looks like the finished part, but just a single, don't invest the money into the tooling for injection molding or anything, just have this one prototype so we can check how it works. And we started out supplying orders to these enterprise, big company 3D printing facilities, and the money went out very, very quickly. So the services are very expensive, and so we decided getting into the 3D printing, buying a 3D printer for our research facility for ourselves and just using it. And very quickly we started out understanding that this can also be used for a limited production, albeit the big issue back then was materials. So the materials were just very low quality thermoplastics, and we are still mostly doing with thermoplastics, but I'll get to the metal story in the end. So the print farms, if you do that with today's technology, look like this, and the company doing this just went bankrupt. So this is certainly not the future. The future has to look something different. And this is our idea how it should look in a short term. Essentially, you need to have a fully automated solutions for running these machines 24/7, and these machines shouldn't be something like cheap, low-cost machinery that is undependable and pieced together in a garage. By the way, our company didn't start in a garage, it started in a kitchen. So now, this year, or the last year, we built this system that we think is a showcase of things to come, and a fully automated print farm. And as with many things that you do with 3D printing, it was first in the world. And this is just an example to show that this is very, very new. The industry is very new, very green, and unlike a lot of things you are doing that are established for a long time, we have to really go out and talk about the change, say, and show and display this to the various industries we want to sell our products to. And here we have run into three kinds of problems that I want to go through very quickly. First of all, the technology to become industrializable, it has to evolve to a platform technology. It has to have a lot of components working together in a very advanced, very developed, and very fine-tuned manner. So all of it has to be stable. You have to have performance materials that are performing as expected, and you have to take into account that the materials that we are using now in the 3D printing are mostly developed for injection molding, all the polymers. So this is not yet very advanced. So you have to do something about the materials management and drying. So we had to do a dryer system for this technology that didn't exist in the market. We couldn't just go out and buy it, unlike some machinery that is already available widely for the more established processing technologies. So we had to convince people that this shouldn't be always about low quality stuff that you see early 3D printed, and we pushed the quality to the level where you can't really tell the difference between this part and injection molded part in a lot of cases, and this particular success opened us a lot of doors. A lot of doors to the big chemical companies doing the materials, because with this reference quality of printing, they can say, hey, this is no more something kind of joke. It looks like a part. We can do a production with it. And then, of course, we had to do the software to manage it, and in the end, the automation. A complex, quite large effort in R&D to arrive at the stage where you can actually ship a solution to a customer. So, to my huge surprise, we also run into a non-technology issues with the customers. And even if the technology is there and our solution is working, then, for example, we went to a factory automation show, showed some mechanical parts printed in polycarbonate and TPUs and that could be used in factories. And the factory managers say, hey guys, this is very good what you're doing. This is for our kids. So, how come? We can do it today. No, it's for our kids. So first thing is totally non-technological attitude, whether someone is willing to do something and change something, even if it... Then the next thing is, in the automotive industry, we were blindfolded by the fact that the legal issues are a big issue. So the parts are signed off by the engineering teams as being technologically feasible. Then the business teams say that the business is there, so the machines cost what it needs, and the parts costs are all right. But then the legal teams come up and say, hey guys, but if someone gets killed in the car and this part was in that car, so how do we protect ourselves? What's the legal procedure? We don't have it. So let's just freeze that project for 2-3 years while we work on the legal issues. Our industry is just 1 year old, basically. So this is very, very different for us. And then we found much quicker acceptance for this technology in the medical markets. That was a huge surprise to us, because we think this should be the industry that's heavily regulated. On the other hand, it was very quick to embrace, and we have now sold a lot of systems to those guys. So besides that, a few years ago, everybody in the investing community talked about 3D printing, and that was the big thing. No more. So, although 3D printing is one of the most hyped technologies ever, so about to become a very large market by a few years. Even people like United States President refer to it as the next thing to make everything, and some venture capitalists or futurologists say that there is no doubt it will change everything we do. And Mr. Steve Sammartino has also said that the impact will be greater than the impact of the internet. If you think about it, that's a very, very huge level of expectations for this technology. How do we cope with that? We go today with this not very developed technology into this very, very high level of expectations for it. And this is something that we have to deal with. And so the law that's saying that what we overestimate today is actually the same thing that we underestimate in the long run. So if you add these two together, the level of expectation still raises. So how do we go there? We see that the 3D printing has been around for 30 years. It hasn't gotten to that point where it has changed everything. So, but there's a reason for that, and one of the reasons is that the 3D printing has been heavily dominated by the closed systems. That essentially means the material comes from the same company as the system. And it's not the case in the most of your industries. Yeah, so you are free to source material here, equipment there, and then process it. And this has been held back in the 3D printing by a lot of patenting, IP issues, and so. But it's about to change now, and it's changing now. So the big chemical companies that are now being on the sides of the market for 30 years are entering it, and with simultaneously the material solutions are appearing. And to connect it back to the metalworking industry, what's so special about these desktop kind of plastic printers for the metal? There are very expensive solutions that are accessible to the enterprise right now, printing metal, and this is very good solutions, but the cost is very high. So now a single company has been making a lot of success with the cheaper solution in metal printing called desktop metal that's based on plastic filament that's infused with metal powders, and essentially the same technology that's been known as metal injection molding since the 80s. So, but even this has been changing recently with the arrival of open materials that are developed by various instances, and I can just share our very quick story about working with some of it. First of all, the technology, the new thing is just the 3D printing. The rest is what you know very well, injection molding. It is essentially the same process used to debind the parts and sinter the parts has been around since 80s. And so we designed the part. The big difference is the part geometry can be totally different than the part you are designing for injection molding. It can have built-in geometry features that you cannot do in milling or injection molding. And so afterwards, the part, when it's printed, you can still mill it, process it to make it exactly the size you need or the dimension you need. So this is the part that is looked in a printing and afterwards metal sintered. And yeah, of course, you do the measurements, everything. And we printed it on our machine and installed the metal part in our machine and showed it in a show. So this is not the future yet, but a very, very small step towards it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Jānis. Please take the seat. Okay, we have several minutes for one question, and it's completely related to the supply chain management and the future of it. You know, what's in your opinion how the supply chain management is going to change in 3-5 years, and what these guys can do about it to prepare themselves for these changes? Can you start? So it's probably 3D printing, but what can these guys with what they can start in order to be prepared? Jānis.
From my opinion, it's very simple. You can start with just a single machine. It shouldn't be ours, but we would be happy if it's ours. But you can start with a single machine just to explore things and go on also what we have done a lot, go to the schools, show this technology. And it's very important that the new people get trained in it, because the basis of it is same things that are useful to your employees eventually. This is visual thinking, ability to draw in 3D, ability to understand materials, and ability to deal with some equipment. And what we have seen is that this is more closely related to handworking, to crafting, to materials than to IT. So, and this is something that's been missing. A lot of new people, including my, are very proficient with the computer things, so this is not a problem. The problem is the people working with stuff start to be more and more less available.
I see. Thanks. Andris, your opinion?
In supply chain management, the future changes, I just believe that it will come tougher and tougher. Each and every end customer has their own rules, what each and every potential supplier need to meet. As Juha told, you need to qualify in some certain level. For sure, there is evaluation of their audits from potential customer. And now, when the new standard will be into automotive business, this EITF, the huge attention there is on the risks assessment from whatever part of the company. So it will be more harder to get into the supply chain, but this harder doesn't mean that it is not impossible. That means that you need to secure your own, as a supplier, your own company's systems, and to be aligned with the expectations from the end or your customer. And then it depends if you are tier 1 or tier 2. There could be different.
I see. Thank you very much. Juha?
I think that the role of supply chain management will be much more important in future, especially in our business when we make big projects all around the world. And as I mentioned in my presentation, that supply chains are very different in Brazil, Uruguay, than they are in Asia, in China, and then in Europe. And the development is going direction so that we tend to find good suppliers as close as possible to end customer. Because it is, as Kent said before, that only thing what matters is total cost.
I see.
And you have to keep it in mind that total cost matters only when you are calculating the final number after the project. And if you can minimize, for example, logistic costs, and your project is in Siberia, you can save hundreds of thousands of euros if you can find something near there than transport it from Europe, for example.
I see. Great. Thank you very much. And Robert?
My opinion, flexibility, cost-efficient flexibility is what matters, and what will matter, because we see big change and customization of the products necessary. So this is my belief.
I see, but what those entrepreneurs can do now or tomorrow to be like to improve on this high efficiency flexibility, is there anything they can do to improve on that?
Involve smart people, and smart people be engaged with robotic and automation solutions, what we are developing now, yeah, to give robots and automated solutions some routine, and leave smart employee, smart guys or girl, to solve this flexibility issue.
I see.
A quick change, quick turnover to the different product, find out what matters, yeah, to look into the core. Yeah. This is very generic words, but it is not about buying new machinery. It's about using what is efficient.
I see. Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause for all the members of the panel discussion.